That's one thing I really, really love about this is when the feedback just kind of clicks off. Welcome to Get Offset. My name is Emily, and you look like the kind of person who doesn't tease others for mispronouncing words because you know when people mispronounce a word, it's often because they've only read it and they've never heard it out loud. So you don't punish people for reading, and I appreciate that about you. I'm here today with the Ranger Effects Echo X. Big thanks to Mass Distro and Ranger for hooking me up with this. It's not a brand new pedal, but it's brand new to me, and I've been really interested in it since I first heard it a few months ago, year ago. I don't really know. Time doesn't matter. But before I get into it, I would like to implore you to like, comment, subscribe, all that goodness. It really helps keep this channel going. But let's go ahead and get into the pedal. The Echo X is a digital delay with some cool gating features and also some expression features via the Igor. And this is something that you can just press and it changes one of the functionalities of the pedal depending on what you have it set to. There are 3 options there. Let's go ahead and go down this panel from top to bottom. Level is the amount of the effect. There's always going to be some dry signals, so it doesn't go 100% wet, but basically affects how loud the repeats are going to be. Next we have rate, that's the speed of the repeats, and the slowest is around 550 milliseconds, and the fastest is very fast. Feedback, FBK, that's the number of repeats, and that does get pretty self-oscillating pretty easily. Input has to do with the gate feature, mostly from what I can hear, but the idea is there will be a little light that'll come on, and you only want that light to turn on sometimes, otherwise it can cause some distortion in your signal. Volume is the output, so the overall volume of the effect, which you may want to compensate depending on how you have other things set. So that is the entire front line, and that is the normal part of the pedal. So let's play just a little bit of that normal kind of sound. I am playing my Elvis Costello signature Jazz Master through the Benson Mixwave plugin. And you can hear I have a little bit of reverb turned on there. So a pretty simple delay there. We can turn up the repeats. Well, the number of repeats. That's the feedback. And let's see how the rate, how fast that goes. So very fast, that kind of metallic-esque sounding, like flicking a piece of sheet metal. Turn it up a little bit. Turn the feedbacks down. Get a little slapbacky. Let's turn that up again. Get a longer repeat. So that was with the volume of the repeats up all the way, the level of the repeats up all the way, I should say. All right. I want you to keep an eye on that overload. So you can see it was only coming on sometimes when I really, really dug in, and that's what you want. Let's get into the Igor and these buttons on the bottom, which you might not be able to completely see. I'm going to start with the send, and the idea of the send is that when this is engaged, you're only going to get repeats when this Igor is pressed. Nothing. Let me make it a little bit more apparent. Thing. And then it kind of dies out naturally. It doesn't stop unless you have the gated on, which we'll get to that in a second. The other thing the Igor can control is the amount of repeats to get into self-oscillation or the rate. So there we had it controlling the repeats or the feedback. And that helps you get into self-oscillation when you don't have that feedback up all the way. And then for your rubber band sounds, you can have it control the rate as well. I don't personally have a favorite of those. Generally, I'm more inclined to self-oscillation and being able to control that. So that's probably where I personally would set that. Now let's get into the fun stuff, the unique stuff, the gatedness. So the idea of the gate is that the pedal will, the repeats will stop when the signal dies out. You can fine tune that with the input, but the idea of the input is you want it to stay open for as long as possible, and that's why you only want that to come on sometimes. So. And this, of course, helps the very well-known phenomenon of if you have a delay, the bad note stays with you forever. You don't want that. Nobody wants that, and this helps you to avoid it. But let's have a little bit of fun. I don't want the level all the way up. That's one thing I really, really love about this is when the feedback just kind of clicks off. So that was still going on for a while. We turned that down. Clicks off a lot faster. And by the way, if you can't really read it, right above that little arrow light says overload. You're not going to hurt the pedal if this stays on. It's just recommended you don't. However, it's choose your own adventure. This is guitar. But here, let's see what we can get going with this here gate and what kind of fun we can have with it. I love that kind of click it gives, like hanging up an old school phone for those younger people. I really like that. And I think it can get really, really glitchy if you're kind of, if you set this the right way. And I love that about this. You can hear how neat and glitchy that is because your brain doesn't necessarily track it as delay when it cuts off like that. It just sounds like this kind of cool, clicky sort of sound. I think the only thing that I could possibly want on this and with this gated feature is an ability to almost like soften the repeats. I've been trying to do that a little bit with level, but if they were almost like more pulsing, tremolo-esque, I think that would just really put this over the edge. Let's try turning that up. It'll still cut off with the gate when that's engaged. Let's try that with the rate. I think if you're using the gate, the rate is going to be more interesting with the Igor. Yeah, man, this is a really cool pedal. I just think Ranger Effects is making some of the most unique, interesting stuff out there. I know a lot of delays have come out the past year. This is probably easily, I should say, one of the more interesting ones I've come across. So I'm a big fan. Thank you again to Ranger Effects and Mass Distribution for sending this to me to check out. And of course, please like, comment, subscribe below. If you're watching the premiere, there's probably still time to leave a super chat if you want to. But if you're not, that's another reason to subscribe, but you can say thanks underneath. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/getoffset and merch at getoffsetpodcast.com/shop. There's even a shirt with my stupid face on it. If anybody buys that, I would be so surprised. I intentionally overpriced it. Well, to everybody out there, thanks for watching. Thanks for understanding. I think you're great. And until next time, my name is Emily. Goodbye.